We need to ask ourselves the question, like, how do the architects accomplish the overall process of how to keep people in, how to trick them, how to make them put the money into the market? We call it the build-up. And how to actually get them out of their position. We call it the inducement. And then in the process, accomplishing their own goals, meaning like the imbalances filled, mitigation, in other words. We'll show you exactly what that is in a bit. But that's the main three intentions they have, which is build-up, inducement, and mitigation. And that brings us to one of our first cycle we will do all over the process. And that is very, very essential to understand. But of course, we will dig you or explain you the whole cycle in depth. So get ready, because now we are going to go deeper in the rabbit hole. And finally, we want to introduce you the inducement concept. Pretty much we covered the L of liquidity inducement theorem. Now we go into the I, which is the inducement concept. Okay, that's a lot of discussion in the public eye about that so far, because a lot of people get noticed about this concept, and they're throwing this word around like crazy now. You know where to have it from, anyways. So let's bring some light into the tunnel, pretty much about the whole inducement aspect to it. Okay, so pretty much. Inducement in overall. So we show you like what it is, where does it happen, the four main focus areas. Of course, we show you the more liquidity aspects to it. Now you show you how to accomplish these inducements. And when does it happen? Like obviously we show you the where and the when of it, and how to use the illusion of time. Again, time will play a very important role in our overall thing, and we use it, of course, for our advantage. Then why does it happen? So we show you the where, the when, and the why, of course. So why, what's the reason behind that? The delivery of the market, of course, and also the understanding of the liquidity aspect of it and how it plays into the where, the what, and the why. And of course, we show you how to identify it easily. So pretty much putting the I into the lid as well. So by definition, inducement is very interesting, because we can ask our friend Google to ask very much what it is, and they say an inducement is a thing that pursues or leads someone to do something. Does that already sound familiar to you? I think it does. And also the similarity to it is like a bribe. So isn't that interesting? If you just look at Google's pretty much, description of what an inducement is. So meaning by that, people are induced to do things like all the time in the market. Pretty much it's the same exact thing. And we talk about mass psychology and also like these retail trades. Like they are getting induced all the time, as we showed you earlier, with all these different strategies. That's pretty much their inducement into the markets. They have all these random reasons, they have all these random strategies, without knowing really what they do, but at least they have some reason to press the button and put the money into the markets. So we know already that we should not fall in these same tricks, and we now starting to see these, or the pain in the markets, which means, of course, the people losing the money. And of course, like the most easiest ones we already covered, which is the breakout inducements, the reversal inducement, the smart money inducements, and the trend reversals. All right, or the inducements. So in charts, pretty easy. We covered it before, but for now, enjoy the journey of the inducements, because that's really where the journey begins. That's where we're starting moving away from the really basic stuff and going into the basic stuff, okay? So still basics, but obviously a little bit more advanced basics, okay? Because with the inducements, again, the whole journey begins, and we will open the gates to our so-called intraday wonderworld. Pretty much, again, the oceans have rough waves in there, but once you learn how to surf, you will have more fun you could ever dreamed of, right? So a beautiful but also very dangerous terrain to be at. So we need a strong guide who leads us the way and to whom we always can rely on if we ever feel lost and don't know the way. So we will take, or pretty much the guide will take us by the hand and points us in the right direction. So just be like this dog, let us guide you in this process, and obviously we steer you through it. So remember, the inducement usually always happens before the retailers get stopped out. So this basic illustration shows what's going on. So first of all, you see they're building up the long trend in this direction already, right? And again, very strong double top. They're seeing like this nonsense support and resistance type of thing. Then maybe a break of structure after that. So they're seeing the market short and this for type of reversal. And this already is some sort of inducement. Why? If you think about the whole overall process of how inducements work, you need to go just the cycle of the retailer's thought process. So they're seeing the double top. They're seeing now a new lower low being formed, and they adding in their sell positions in here and thinking the market will go lower based off this really strong, let's call it a resistance area, and also this breakout area on forming new lower lows. So that already adds more short sellers and the short buyers, right? So this in here then becomes, of course, a smart money trap for people, smart money traders, because maybe there's an imbalance in here, right? And they're taking the short here, getting the false reaction. But then again, they're doing the same thing over again. So pretty much building a triple top instead, like even bouncing off this area, this huge, strong, whatever resistance area in here, even one more time, giving again the false reaction, and the false reaction is becoming a key point in here as well. Because again, if they just smoke through it like that, like that's not a build-up. That's just smoking through these areas and just taking these people out immediately. They want to make sure that people adding their positions, and that's why they're giving always these some sort of false reactions in all these areas. They do it here with the triple top, they do it here with the smart money trap, right? And then finally, after inducing everyone in the wrong side of the market, then the final inducement can come, grabs out all these stop orders from all these people, grabs the liquidity, and then we're valid cycle done in our points of interest, and we can get our point of interest out of that. But of course, like what's a point of interest and everything, we will teach you that later. But for now, just understand that the inducement is usually the last step of the cycle to get out all the liquidity of the stuff they built up earlier the wrong side direction, right? And also the inducement not only stops people out, which are in the wrong side of the market, but also induces people the other way, like buy, breakout traders, confirming a new higher high, a new trend and whatsoever. And overall, it's just the last step of the overall false run to the false direction in order then to go the main direction. But before they can do that, they're making sure to build as much liquidity as possible, the wrong direction, inducing final there, and then can reverse after grabbing all the liquidity. So now what we'll do is we will add some more basic approaches to the whole picture, because now we understand already that these retail concepts, that's not anywhere where we want to be at. So that's why we show you some basics, which are definitely better than all the retail stuff. But again, it's just a foundation. And you can see we will start small, but still strong though, right? But again, not something we will use that heavily moving into the whole curriculum, but that's our starting point. And again, why do we do that? To make sure that everyone has the right foundations, everyone's getting on the same page. And then of course, after we have done the foundations, then we can start building a proper mansion. Because again, if we don't do that and jump straight away into the advanced material, something like that can happen. And that's always not what we want. Because again, if we build the biggest mansion on top of a not good foundation, of course, it can collapse itself. And that's why we need to spend some time and just to make sure that something does not happen like you see in here. Because guess what? Just because you have a great foundation does not mean you can throw wild pool parties in your mansion, because right now we don't really have a mansion. So that's why we start to make the foundation first and then build, obviously, a beautiful praise above that.